Hi Pam, thank you so much for an interesting presentation on QR codes. I think this is a really important topic to have covered as part of our virtual presentations, and I'm glad that you decided to tackle it for your assignment. I thought your wiki was really well done. I thought it was a good choice to use a wiki as a format for presenting all of this information. As you know, wikis are great because of the way other people can collaborate, and they're very easy to maintain but also to add to. So that was a good choice. The Glogster that you use to introduce your presentation is very attractive and gives people a good sense of what they're going to find throughout the wiki. I have a couple of sort of questions or suggestions that I thought I'd like to point out, so I'll just do that now. Here on the side, I thought in your wiki it would probably make sense to paginate your wiki pages in some way rather than having it as the default where it just shows up in alphabetical order, which I know is totally the default, but you can get around that by including A, B, C or numbers 1, 2, 3 in front of the title of each page. And that would give you a little bit of control over how people view your presentation. For example, I think it would make sense for people to look at this "What are they?" page before they looked at anything else. And the way it stands, it's not clear if you have a particular order in mind for people to actually view the pages in your wiki. So that's one suggestion that I think might be helpful. I thought in that "What are they?" page, your inclusion of this video clip was a good one. CSI New York does tend to use some kind of interesting technology. Whether all of it is absolutely true or not, I don't know. But it's certainly a nice way of introducing the subject using kind of pop culture references. Just probably a couple of things. You should make sure this says here CSI New York, because it is a CSI New York clip, and you should also have some kind of reference or citation for it so that people could find it again. Similarly, in your Prezi that you included here, I know you didn't create it. This was an excellent Prezi to include. It was very well done. But again, some indication of who the author is, because as it stands right now, it almost looks like you created it. And the only way you can find out who to attribute this to is by clicking on the link here, which is fine, but it's probably a good thing to just sort of say, presentation created by or some such a thing, so that you're referencing and attributing it to the actual author. Couple of other things that I thought should be addressed here. You've got a whole page here on QR codes in schools, which is fantastic because that's obviously sort of the point of what we're talking about here. And you've got lots of really good information and good suggestions. And I was a little surprised that you didn't talk about Gwyneth Jones, the daring librarian, and how she's using QR codes. She's got lots of things here about on her blog about how QR codes are used. For example, she's got this great link great post from December about QR codes in the classroom and library. And perhaps you did cite some of her work, but because you haven't actually cited any of these links, it's a little hard to know where you've gotten the information from. Similarly, here's another blog post by Jennifer Lagarde, and that would be worth including as part of your presentation as well. I think you need to go a little deeper into this particular section and really give some really concrete examples, which you've started to do, but I think you could have gone a little more in depth. The implications for education section, similar. You've provided some good information. It's a good starting place, but I would like to see you go a little further in depth here. And then your sections on how to make your own codes is fabulous, because that's something that a lot of people probably are not familiar with. And then how to scan them or use them. Like I say, I think you've provided us with a really good starting place, a good introduction to this topic, but I would have liked to see you go a little further in depth. So thanks again, and I enjoyed watching your presentation.